question is, you got this amazing fast track pass to the London Underground system. Did you get to keep it and kind of borrow it?
I did get to keep it. That's one of the 3 things I got to keep, actually.
What were the other 2?
That's funny. My boots, my blue boots, and there were these lion kind of things that were dotted around London, and I love lions, and they let me keep these, and so they're kind of like almost bookends in my house now.
Have you flashed it with confidence at the underground workers going, "Don't worry, my man, I have the pass"?
Yeah, yeah.
And if not, please do.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably get very far. But I kind of feel like this movie is Star Wars meets Game of Thrones meets Lord of the Rings in one epic thriller. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, I like the Game of Thrones because no one said that before. I don't know.
Game of Lion Thrones.
Yeah.
Lion-shaped thrones. Yeah. I think it is.
I think it's so many things, but it's also itself, and it's very unique. It really is like nothing you've ever seen before.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
We see power corrupt and intoxicate our delightful Hugo Weaving.
Yes.
And he's trying to wrestle it by hook or by crook off of Patrick Malahide's Magnus Chrome. Magnus Chrome.
Before she died, your mother told me she was afraid of Valentine. And that if anything should happen to her, that was to find you. That you could stop him.
She could be a problem if she's anything like her mother.
Keep it safe.
What happens when you find Hester Shaw? I will kill her.
He's here.
It's interesting as well, if we look at, 12, 1300 years from now, we look at the way in which sexuality and binary was shown in the film as well. It was interesting to see it was very male and female and very straight as well, which was surprising for me. I would have thought that society would have moved on.
Well, what we've seen, there's a great quote by an American general, I think, who was around in the 50s, who advised JFK to bomb them back to the Stone Age, because he understood. It was actually Einstein who talked about that. He said, "I don't know what World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones." And there is this sense of regression of progress, regression of time, when human beings experience this huge cataclysm. Everything regresses. Society is back to this sort of strict hierarchical structure. So things like sexuality, all of that sort of tightens up because of the extremism of the way they live, So, you make a good point, but I think it's almost like to survive this darkness, London embraces the old British ways,
Yeah, definitely. And you've spoken out in your private life just about supporting Ireland's same-sex marriage vote. You posted that amazing video on Twitter as well. Why is the LGBTQ community one that you're very vocal about and want to support?
Because it just seems so needless to deny people, a bit of love in their lives.
Yeah.
So what harm does it do for anybody who wants to get married to anybody? As long as they're happy, just let them on. That's why the world confuses me a lot. Because you have people who stand in the way of those things. And you just think, just stop wasting your breath, Definitely. So that's where it came from, really.
Do you think that this is part maybe of a wider conversation in terms of the representation of queer people within Hollywood and within films? Do you think that perhaps Hollywood does still have an issue with, openly gay characters, straight people playing gay characters or vice versa? Is it a bigger problem?
In terms of Hollywood, I suppose Hollywood is part of a greater institution. It's part of a greater culture. And I don't think Hollywood necessarily sets the culture. I don't think it creates standards by which we all live. Films aren't instruction manuals. So, and also Hollywood isn't this one big entity. Hollywood is many, many, many different entities, many people changing, working for this studio and so on and so forth. So I think sometimes when Hollywood gets lumped in as this one entity that's responsible singularly for all of its output, it kind of reduces the debate down. It oversimplifies things, So I think it's important to remember that.
And I think progress is happening.
Definitely, yeah.
More people want to see more of that as well. It's becoming more and more popular to have shows based around all of that, and it's great. interesting. You know?
It's coming, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fab. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure,
you.
Will. Not a
Thank you.
bother, man.